Hey guys, welcome back to another installation of Judging Books by Their Covers. Today we still have 5 books that we'll be looking at, and I've never seen them, so I'll be reacting to them for the very first time, and then we'll be placing them blindly into a rank from 1 being the best to 5 being the worst. This is done respectfully. It's really mostly done based on how likely I would be to pick up these books and possibly read them. This is not to insult any authors out there or any designers who create book covers. Before we get started, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who has subscribed to my channel. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. It would mean so much to me. And if you end up liking this video, please like, comment, share this video with anyone that you think might enjoy it. That being said, let's go ahead and dig in. This is so pretty. Oh my gosh. I love the colors. It's so different from what I would normally pick up, but I do like it. Okay, the first book that we're looking at today is called A Song to Drown Rivers. I do love the title. It is a very interesting title. By Anne, I'm gonna guess the pronunciation of this last name is Liang or Lang, or I'm not sure, but I'm so sorry if I mispronounced the last name. And then underneath it does say New York Times bestselling author. Oh, okay, there's a small little sentence next to the title, just a little description. It says, her beauty hides a deadly purpose. Ooh, that sounds very ethereal and magical. And I do like those ideas and concepts, so I am very interested. So the cover that we're looking at, the title and the author's name are in the middle and then towards the bottom of the page. And then behind that is, I want to say it's like a bunch of images kind of on top of each other. Does that make sense? If you start at the bottom of the page, it's that's the picture that's the most, that's on top of all the other pictures and also kind of smaller. So at the bottom of the page, it looks like it's a building, and it does look like a building from maybe China or Japan, definitely somewhere in Asia. And the colors of this cover are only a dark blue and then another lightish kind of blue and kind of a gold yellow. And the building is yellow, like a gold. And around the building and kind of behind, so one of the other images that is behind the building, it looks like waves, but not really waves. They look like waves if waves were vine tendrils, because they have lines in them like vines kind of do, and they kind of swirl in a way that doesn't feel like water. It feels like it has a little bit more control than just water. So that's why it does feel very magical, especially when you look at that image. And then going further up the page, but also still behind these pictures, this is a very complicated cover and I do love it, is a huge kind of side portrait of a woman. She's facing, if you're looking at the cover, she's facing the right. And you can't see her face. Her face is just totally blue. You can see the side profile features of her face, but that's it. And her hair is blowing in the wind to the right, to the direction she's looking in. She is taking up half of the cover. So it's you see her from the top of her chest up to the top of her head. It looks like she's in front of the moon, but the moon is gold, because then you maybe think it's the sun, but the sun is not that deep of a gold. And so you're oh, that must be the moon, especially because it looks like behind even that, the rest of the cover is a dark blue night sky, you see little stars. So that's why I think the moon, but it's a gold orb. So I don't know what to make of that. So I'm going to guess it's the moon. I'm going to guess this is nighttime. That maybe the stars or the constellations have something to do with the magic or mythological beings that are in this book, because that's what the cover is giving me. And it does sound so interesting. I love the way this cover looks. And this image that I found here shows that it has, what's it called? When they paint the edges, they paint an image on the edges of the pages. Whatever that's called. I love that. That's pretty. I think this book is definitely something ethereal, definitely something magical. I really like this cover, so I really would like see this and want to pick it up and definitely want to read it. But I don't know if it feels like number 1. I feel good putting this at number 2. I would really, really want to pick this up and I would be so interested in reading this. But in my heart of hearts, it doesn't feel like my number 1 for today. No insult on the author whatsoever. Ooh. So the next book we're looking at today is called Throne of Secrets. Sounds very, very interesting. And in between, so Throne of Secrets is at the top, like the title's at the top of the page, and Throne of is on one line, and then Secrets is on the next line. And in between those, it says, love is the most dangerous adventure of all. Okay. Without even describing the cover itself, the title, and then that sentence alone, this is an adventure romance. So the author is Kerri Maniscalco. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Number 1 New York Times bestselling author. And that's at the bottom of the page. So title's at the top, author's name is at the bottom, and in the middle, like, they're like silver dragons. Like, they're dragons like made out of silver. Like, if you were to like go to like a jewelry store and they had like jewelry or a ring or a bracelet that was like made of silver and it was a dragon or some kind of reptile, that's what it looks like on the cover. And there's 2 of them and they're side by side directly next to each other, and then kind of blooming out from the sides of them are flowers and leaves, just all kinds of plant life. And then behind them and the plant life and like the whole cover is what seems like the night sky. It looks like it's mostly black, a little bit of blue, and what looks like stars to me personally. And the dragons, like their faces, like I'm getting Chinese dragon vibes, just the way certain lines of the dragon's faces are kind of presented. But it also kind of feels like there's some other reference drawn into these dragons, because there's all different kinds of dragons from different cultures. So I don't know what kind of dragons these might be, because also when you look at their bodies, they almost look like cobras, because they have like the thick neck that looks like, you know, it can like expand like with whatever it's called that they have at the top of their neck, and then get skinnier as their body goes down. So they kind of have like a cobra-like body, but they look like dragons, like they have dragon heads. So, okay, this feels like it's going to be, this is definitely fantasy. This is definitely, like, even with, yeah, with the title, because it says throne, there does seem to be like a monarchy system in whatever universe this is set in. And I would say that this is definitely a love adventure story, like romance. So this is very interesting. I think it's a very interesting cover. But I don't know. I think I would definitely pick it up, and I think I would want to read the back or wherever the blurb is. But I don't know if I would really want to pick it up and actually read it. I don't know. I don't feel like I want to put this at number 3. Because I don't know what it is. I think that this is very interesting, and I think I possibly might pick it up and look at it, but I don't know if I would really want to read it. So I think I'm going to put this at number 4. Okay. I'm not really sure what I'm looking at. The next book we're looking at today is called The 13th Child, and the title is in the dead center of the page. The author is Erin A. Craig, like A. Craig. And then above, because the author's name is at the very bottom of the page, and right above the author's name, it says, number 1 New York Times bestselling author of House of Salt and Sorrows. That is, I'm sorry, that's such a funny name, House of Salt and Sorrows. It's just funny to have those 2 things in the same sentence, especially in a book title. Now I really want to go look up what that book is about. So before I get into the description of the cover itself, at the very, very top of the page, it says, a dark, delicious treat from start to finish. And that's by Ken Dare Blake. I think that's how you pronounce that name. #1 New York Times bestselling author of Three Dark Crowns. So I was not sure what I was looking at first when this cover was first pulled up. So that's why I'm like, I don't really know how I feel about it yet, because it's like, at first I thought I saw flowers, and then at first I thought I saw dripping things, and it's all very black and blue and very dark magenta or red, and even some greens. But now what I think I'm looking at is the cover is in a cave, and there's a staircase that starts at the bottom of the page right above the author's name, and there's a staircase that goes up into the cave, and we're looking at the entrance of a cave. And so the entrance of the cave is like a big arch, like a big circle-ish, and there's a bunch of candles everywhere on the floor near the staircase and on little crevices that are in the rock, I guess, of the cave, all up to even the ceiling. And that is what's dripping everywhere, the wax. But there's also flowers everywhere. And so the flowers are like a dark magenta, pink, maybe even kind of red, and they're really huge, like in context of everything else in there. Like the candles seem pretty small, and then the flowers are like twice the size of each candle. But then what's also interesting is the formations of the rock in the cave form all these kinds of human skulls all around the entrance to the cave. And yeah, it's basically completely pitch black except for the staircase that goes up into the cave. So it is a very intriguing cover. Dark books always make me nervous. I haven't really been interested in horror or dark books as of lately. Sometimes you go in and out of different genres that you like to read at different points in your life. So this is not a typical genre that I would personally like to read. I do really like the cover, especially the font of the title. It's very, like if you were reading an old fairy tale or something, that's what the font is giving me. So, and it looks like the font is like wax, like dripping. So I do like that touch too. So as much as I appreciate the artistic value of this cover, and especially all the other covers, I want to make that clear, I don't know if I might be drawn to this to look at it, but I don't know if I would be interested in reading it. So I'm going to put this at #5. The art is so different on this book cover. So the next book we're looking at is called Tourist Season. The author is Brynne Weaver. And above the author's name, because the author's name is at the very bottom of the page. Right above that it says The Seasons of Carnage Trilogy. So this book is part of a trilogy. And Tourist Season's kind of at the top. But at the very top it says #1 New York Times bestselling author of the Ruinous Love Trilogy. Then underneath that is the title. So on either side of this cover, on the top corners, there's a hand that's formed into a fist, and that fist is holding a red rose. But it looks drawn. It doesn't look like a picture. It looks like a drawn picture. And Tourist Season, the title, is like dripping. And I'm thinking it's gotta be water, because so in the middle bottom-ish of the page is the image that we're looking at on the cover, other than the words. And it's kind of like if you were looking at a picture with the sun right behind everything. So everything is kind of like a shadow because you can't really see anything. You just mostly have the light behind it that's illuminating everything. And so you see like the shadows of two people. And these two people are facing each other. And it looks like they're standing on a beach because it looks like there might be some water behind them. And then I see a lighthouse. So they're definitely near water. And there's seagulls flying around. They just look like seagulls, like the shape. I'm from a beach area, so I know what seagulls look like. And there's even some interestingly shaped houses that don't really give me beach vibe houses. They give me like mountain, New England shaped houses. And again, they're all shadows. This is in the back. But the interesting thing about the two people facing each other is it's a man and a woman. They almost look like they're about to kiss, or maybe they're flirting, but she's holding an axe behind her back and he is holding a butcher's knife behind his back. So I am intrigued. I do like that. This is definitely a romance. There's definitely romance involved. I don't know what else is involved in this because tourist season doesn't really give me much at all. I could not guess what this book is about based on the title. The cover, I don't know if I can guess. I would guess romance as well, but other than that, I don't know. And the weapons that they're holding behind their back don't necessarily tell me much because they're kind of generic weapons that you could find in various situations. Like, it's not like a specific weapon specific to a job or a location. Like, most people have access to axes, and most people, not most, there's a lot of people. If you live in areas that need firewood or something, a lot of people have access to axes. And then a lot of people, pretty much everyone, has access to butcher's knives. So, like, most people have that kind of stuff in their kitchen. So none of this is really giving me anything else to guess what this book is about. So I don't really know. But I am intrigued by the title and the cover. They definitely get me wondering what this could be about. And it feels like it could be an adventure. This book, whether they go anywhere, like traveling, it still feels like an adventure kind of book. And I do like the implications. So I like this a lot, but I still don't feel like this is number one. So I'm going to put this in number 3. That's scary. Oh man. Okay, so that means that our last book that we're looking at today is going at number 1, regardless of how I feel about it. There's something about this cover that just feels very nostalgic, and I like it a lot. So the last book that we're looking at today that goes at number 1 is called Shadow Ticket. I can't guess anything from that name. That could mean so many things. And the author is Thomas Pynchon? I'm so sorry if I'm mispronouncing your last name. And that's it. There's no other words on the cover that other than a novel. So Shadow Ticket, the title, is like a light pink, orange, peach kind of color. And then the author's name is in a very light kind of purple, closer to lavender than violet. And then behind the title and author's name is a very dark black and white photograph. Most of the photograph is of the night sky because it's completely black behind the title and author's name. So I'm going to guess it's nighttime. Even in black and white, you can usually tell. And it looks like this, like the scene below, the location, it looks, now this is just a guess, it looks like Broadway in New York City, but it also could just be any city with a street with like a lot of popular places to go, and that's very busy because there's also a lot of cars around. Now this black and white doesn't always necessarily mean that the photo is actually vintage or actually from a different era, but this one is for sure. One, because of the way the signs look, like on the buildings that you see going down the street. The light bulbs are very old-fashioned. Nobody uses those light bulbs anymore. But also the cars. These cars look like they're maybe from the 50s. Between the 30s and the 50s. Somewhere around there. Probably before the 50s. I am not good at judging that. Okay, there's a lot of things I'm good at judging eras, but cars, not so much. I would say maybe 30s is probably closer than 50s, but they are very old cars that we do not see anymore at all today, unless you go to like a museum. So this is definitely a photograph from a long time ago, and I wonder why that is the cover. So Shadow Ticket in the name, the title, makes me feel like this is Broadway because ticket to go see a show. And you're on a street that kind of gives the vibes of Broadway. It may not be Broadway, but it kind of seems like a popular street that has some sort of entertainment or some sort of necessity for a ticket. So the interesting thing is we can see a sign, and one of the signs on the buildings, and it's in a different language. So it's not English. So I wonder where this is. I mean, it's possible that it's a name of a show and that's why they have it there. But I don't know, it kind of seems like it's a different language and it might be a different location. So I don't know where this takes place. I'm not sure. But I love this cover. Shadow Ticket is a very mysterious, vague title. But the cover itself, the image, the photograph gives me a lot of context. Still with a lot of questions. Don't know where it is. Don't know what ticket has to do with the cover, because it's not like we're looking specifically at anything. It's just we're looking down a street. And I'm pretty happy with this at number 1. I would definitely pick this up. I would notice it right away because it's like all black and the title and the author's name like really stand out. I would notice this right away and I would really want to pick this up and want to read it. So I am very happy about that. The last book going at number 1 actually worked out. So that is all for this week's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of the rank today and how it turned out. I'm pretty happy with this rank. I don't think I would change anything. Again, this is not to insult any authors or graphic designers. This is just how I would rank these books in the order of which I would pick them up and the likelihood of me to read them. But thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.